Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting.
Today's feed is just moving at light speed. It's all dominated by these AI milestones that feel, totally futuristic.
Right, but at the same time, we're seeing these massive infrastructure failures.
Exactly. It's a huge reminder of how fragile everything is. And then you've got some truly unexpected human stories mixed in.
So you need the core takeaways, and that's what we're here to do. We're going to deliver them right now.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. We've got a whole stack of sources showing Google accelerating, faster than anyone really predicted.
And those global internet outages that took millions offline in, minutes.
And a moment of political transparency so rare, it actually stopped the news cycle cold. So our mission is to unpack all that buzz.
I'll dive in.
Let's jump straight into the AI frontier.
We have to start with the sheer velocity of Google DeepMind. They were already competitive, but the news today, it suggests a really decisive push for leadership with their newest model.
Okay, let's unpack this with the source of the drama, the accidental source. Post 1 from @iScienceLove. This is what started the whole storm. https://t.q60z5bcc0.
And that link. That was the archived leak of the Gemini 3 Pro model card.
So it wasn't supposed to be public yet?
Not at all.
Yeah.
And what it revealed is, it's just stunning. This thing is a multimodal beast.
Okay, so multimodal means it handles text, code, image.
And even video inputs.
Right.
Plus, and this is the big part, it has a massive 1 million token context window.
Wait, okay, for anyone listening who hears 1 million token context and their eyes glaze over, what does that actually mean for, everyday use?
It's basically the model's short-term memory. 1 million tokens is it's enough to absorb a 750-page book in a single go.
So it can reference something from page 1 when you're talking about page 750.
Exactly. And the benchmarks that leaked showed it absolutely crushing rivals in math tests like GSM-8K and these really complex coding tasks like Human Evil.
Which, of course, sets the stage for the official hype. Post 4 from @officiallogan_k, who's the lead product person for the Gemini API, he leans right into this dominance narrative. Introducing Gemini 3 Pro, the world's most intelligent model that can help you bring anything to life. It is state-of-the-art across most benchmarks.
And what's crucial here are the specific numbers he mentioned. They claimed 100% on the AME 2025 math problems.
Which are incredibly hard.
Incredibly hard.
Yeah.
And 91.9% on GPQA Diamond, which is testing, scientific knowledge mastery. So that's objective metric dominance.
And the immediate application is, of course, the business angle. It's in preview on the API for $2 per million input tokens.
Right, and they're explicitly enabling what they call vibe coding and agentic workflows.
What on earth is vibe coding?
Well, it's the ability to define a high-level goal, a vibe, and have the agent just interpret that and execute all the code to get it done.
So you're moving beyond just writing one function.
You're writing the entire application architecture on its own. They even claimed a 54.2% score on Terminal Bench 2.0, which shows how good it is at these complex multi-step command line tasks.
And we have the proof of concept, Post 3 from @Scarano, which demonstrates this zero-shot software creation in one shot. I asked Gemini 3 Pro to create a 3D Lego editor. In one shot, it nailed the UI, complex spatial logic, and all the functionality.
That demo thread is genuinely jaw-dropping. Creating a functional 3D Lego editor from a single sentence, that's revolutionary.
And it wasn't just that, right?
No, they didn't stop there. They showed it recreating the classic 2011 iOS game Ridiculous Fishing.
With hook physics and audio?
With hook physics and synthesized audio, yeah. And a functional Game Boy emulator rendered entirely in a basic format like SVG. We're watching software engineering friction just get reduced to almost zero.
But even with these huge leaps, the intelligence is, it's still brittle.
Which brings us to topic B, deepthink and its reasoning challenges. Post 2 from @ARC-Prize, it details these deep reasoning capabilities.
Ooh.
Gemini 3 models have made a significant 2x SOTA jump on ARC-AGI 2 semi-private eval, Gemini 3 deepthink preview, 45.14%, $77.66.
So doubling the prior state-of-the-art score on ARC-AGI 2 is huge for abstraction. It shows scaling laws are definitely working.
But look at that cost.
Exactly. $77 for a single task. That price tag tells you everything. This is a pure research instrument right now. It's not a commercially scalable tool.
So they have the power, but it's just prohibitively expensive to run reliably. And what about that brittleness you mentioned? If you can build a Game Boy emulator, how can it be brittle? Because advanced coding and abstraction, they don't equal common sense. The public logs show this highly advanced model still makes really obvious mistakes on simple, intuitive tasks.
Like what?
Like completing basic cross shapes or repeating simple color patterns. It's sort of like a rocket scientist who fails a visual test for kindergartners. The AGI score jumps, but the foundation of just, intuitive reasoning still has these massive gaps.
So while Google is dominating the benchmarks, the competitive landscape isn't exactly settling down. Topic C shows a rival claiming a win in a totally different arena. Post 6 from @Elon Musk. Grok is the model in the arena.
And that arena is the LMSYS chatbot arena, which, you could argue is just as important as the scientific tests.
Because it's based on human preference.
Exactly. It relies on crowdsourced blind comparisons. Humans just use the models and vote on which one they like better. And Grok 4.1 got the top rank with 1,483 ELO points, beating Gemini 2.5 Pro at 1,452.
That ELO score, like in chess, it's a measure of competitive performance based on what users actually prefer. So what does Grok's victory really tell us?
It tells us that performance isn't just about math scores. It's about conversation quality, tone, and utility in a real-world setting. Grok 4.1 improved 40 points really, really quickly.
So the race is now on two fronts.
Totally. Objective metrics for technical capability and subjective human preference for market dominance. XAI is basically saying, we may not beat Google on abstract reasoning yet, but hey, humans like talking to us more.
So we've got this unprecedented AI acceleration, software writing itself, models getting smarter by the week, but all that speed is putting enormous strain on the world's actual physical infrastructure.
And that structure cracked today.
Which brings us to topic D, the Cloudflare blackout. Post 8 from @Kubicilliter. Breaking. The Cloudflare outage is impacting over 100 million website users, with thousands of websites reporting complete blackouts. This comes after 2 major AWS outages in 2025. Why are internet outages becoming so common?
That outage was massive. It took down critical services like X and ChatGPT all over the world. And the question it raises is the right one. Why is this happening so often in 2025?
And the answer is AI traffic.
It's the explosion of AI traffic. If bots are making up over 50% of web traffic now, and visits to AI platforms are spiking 50% year over year, the hosts of the internet are they're drowning.
We're pouring a modern AI internet through systems that were basically designed in the 1990s.
Exactly. They were built for humans clicking, not for billions of agentic workflows hammering APIs all at the same time.
But doesn't that raise a huge question? I mean, if the tech giants are creating this fire hose of generative AI, shouldn't they have upgraded the pipes before turning on the tap?
It's a failure of foresight, for sure.
Is it really a legacy system failure, or did the AI developers just not plan ahead?
Well, it's a bit of both. But the speed of competitive development, it just outweighs infrastructural caution. The incentive is to release the smarter model right now. And the immediate human reaction to the failure was perfectly captured in Post 9 from @WatchItGuru.
Jay's Talon and Cloudflare begins recovering from worldwide outage, taking popular services like X and ChatGPT down.
And that post included a screenshot of a device restart menu, which is just hilarious.
Yeah.
It highlights that common instinct, right? When global infrastructure fails,
We assume our device is the problem.
we immediately blame our Wi-Fi. It's a classic user response. And since Cloudflare handles like 10% of global web traffic, even a quick recovery shows how fragile our single points of failure really are.
Let's connect this to topic E, corporate chess. Because while the physical internet strains, the corporate world is also scrambling. This leads to a clash of ideologies. Open source versus these closed-door deals.
Right.
Post 7 from @Askatara captures that open source spirit perfectly. We hired a college intern. Today is his first day. Here's what he just sent us.
And the intern's suggestion, which was enthusiastic and full of typos, was the future of AI is open source.
Which is Okara AI's whole philosophy.
It is. They use privacy-focused open models like Llama and Mistral. That post is a celebration of that transparent, community-driven approach. It's like the hopeful, naive enthusiasm of the next generation.
And that enthusiastic ethos just contrasts so sharply with the frantic, closed-door corporate mess that we see in Post 12. From @SilasAlberti. So Google just forked the Windsurf codebase, and they even forgot to remove the Cascade branding in some places.
And here is where that rivalry gets really messy. This is about Google's anti-gravity IDE, which visibly showed leftover Cascade branding.
So it's proof.
It's proof that they rushed the fork of the Windsurf codebase, and the backstory is this intense bidding war.
The rush was all about competition. OpenAI tried to acquire Windsurf's AI coding tech for $3 billion back in July, and it failed.
And Google immediately swooped in. They secured a $2.4 billion non-exclusive license.
So that little piece of forgotten branding in the code.
It's hard evidence of how intensely competitive and time-sensitive this whole space is. They were moving so fast to beat their main rival that they skipped basic quality control on the rebrand. It just underscores the immense value placed on these AI coding tools right now.
Okay, let's move from the silicon ceiling to the human spirit. Topic F gives us pure cinema magic and some rare political transparency. Post 5, from @RealEmmerhan, gives us the story behind one of the most iconic film moments ever. Sylvester Stallone said iconic Rocky Steps scene was shot quickly before the police arrived. I wasn't even thinking out steps. We didn't have any money to shoot there. I just got out of the car. I said, let me just run up steps, get a shot of it.
I love this story. It's this raw, improvised moment, captured quickly and no permits, all because the production only had $1 million budget back in 1976.
And it became the defining image of the film.
It is the underdog spirit.
Yeah.
And it's the ultimate contrast to a $77 per task AGI model. Sometimes the best, most lasting creative moments come from, necessity and zero-budget guerrilla tactics.
That unscripted necessity finds a really strange parallel in politics today, with a moment of rare bipartisan unity. Post 10, from @RepThomasMassey. My legislation with @RepRakana to release the Epstein files just passed 427 to 1.
That vote count is just. It's extraordinary in our current polarized climate. 427 to 1 is basically total unity.
So this was the House passing H.R. 4405.
A bill demanding the release of all investigative files related to Jeffrey Epstein.
What does that kind of overwhelming consensus even signal?
It signals that public pressure for transparency on these issues has finally cut through the political division. When 99.8% of the House agrees on something, it's not partisan anymore. It's driven by public demand.
Right, for accountability.
Exactly. And a rare shared agreement that these sealed documents have to be released. The lone nay vote from Rep. Clay Higgins drew instant, intense attention just because it stood out so dramatically.
Okay, moving on to topic G, viral fortunes and unexpected gestures. Post 11 from @Pirate Nation gives us this great throwback story about a CEO's personal touch. In February 2022, a Valve CEO, Gabe Newell, personally delivered the new handheld PC to people living near Valve HQ.
This is such a fantastic anecdote. It cemented Gabe Newell as gaming Santa. During the launch of the Steam Deck, when demand was insane, he just took time to hand-deliver devices to local residents.
That's amazing.
In a world of impersonal e-commerce, that personal touch creates so much community popularity. It buys immense long-term goodwill.
So contrast that strategic goodwill with just pure instant fortune. Post 13 from @WizardUp10, gifts are non-refundable. Blessings, Russ.
This post went completely viral. It showed a screenshot where someone used a gift of money to win 98 million Naira, a massive amount in sports betting.
And then immediately asked how to repay the sender.
Right. And while it's framed as this uplifting story about unconditional giving, it really puts a spotlight on the staggering scale of Nigeria's sports betting industry.
And that scale is immense. I think the estimates are something like 60 million active bettors there between 18 and 40.
It creates this intense cultural environment where you have these rags to riches stories constantly circulating, but it also underscores the huge risks of addiction that come with it. The post went viral because it taps into that powerful fantasy of instant fortune.
Finally, topic H, a very niche piece of satire that unexpectedly backfired. Post 14 from @ShitPostRock. I feel like you shot yourself in the leg a bit by designing a game that shuts itself off when it gets too much hurt.
This refers to a specific satirical Roblox game that was designed for Transgender Awareness Month. The game simulates falling testosterone and estrogen particles.
And it was programmed to crash itself.
Intentionally. It crashes when it simulates too much hurt. The self-deprecating humor was meant to resonate internally with the community, but the satire just completely failed to translate to the broader public digital space.
So the critique is that designing a game that actively self-sabotages turns the humor into, well, a self-own. It draws mockery instead of understanding.
Exactly. Satire requires nuance. And in the high-velocity world of X, nuance often dies. What was intended as this sort of inside joke humor ended up being easily co-opted and mocked. It just shows how hard it is to maintain complex comedic intent online.
So today's vibecasting showed us two paths just diverging dramatically. On one hand, you have the sheer speed of AI development. I mean, it's breathtaking. Gemini 3 Pro coding full software in one shot.
Grok taking the preference ground. But on the other hand, that breakneck self-accelerating speed is stressing our global internet foundation to the breaking point.
Leading to these massive outages.
And yet, the human stories, whether it's the spontaneous brilliance of Rocky or that massive public demand for political transparency, they still rely on raw, unscripted moments that AI just can't truly replicate or, anticipate.
So here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on. If we know that these AI agentic workflows, where software literally codes itself, are the future, and we know that bot traffic is already collapsing the internet of today, how quickly will that inevitable surge in automated traffic cause the entire foundation of our current internet to completely fail?
Keep learning, keep asking questions. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.